So good morning and welcome to this. Oh, someone else is joining. Welcome to this kind of introductory session to the diploma. This is really for anyone that just wants to find out any more about it. It is our flagship training course. It's also our longest training course. It's a bit different from a lot of the other ones that we do. It does run for 6 months. We have been running it in kind of one shape or another since 2011. So we've been running it a long time. We've kind of adapted it as time goes, but it's definitely the course that people kind of talk the most about and can really make a big difference to people's careers in the agencies. So please ask questions if you've got any questions as we go through, or we can save them to the end, whatever you feel most comfortable with. It's great today. We've got Stephanie, who has been putting people on the diploma probably since it launched. Is that right, Stephanie?
Yeah, I think since probably day one. In fact, it feels more like 2001 rather than 2007. But,
I think you did. I think you put a number of people on it in 2011, so that's great. And obviously she's going to talk about what they get out of it. And we've got lots of the trainers and Millie, one of our current delegates, who can just sort of share their experiences rather than just having to listen to me. So the next session starts on the 23rd of March. I think that's about 6-7 weeks away. We try to do it twice a year. Obviously, that's dependent upon demand. It is the only diploma which is for agency people, and that's why we initially launched it, because it is just for agency people. And I really do believe that people that go through this then become an outstanding agency person. As I said, it's for agency people, but it's not just for account handlers. And I think that's one of the great things about it, is that we do get a real mix of people from different parts of the agency. So obviously client service is a big part, but we also have planners, creatives, project managers and producers. And that's great because you kind of get this cross-fertilization and sharing of how they look at different problems. And I think that's one of the great things about it. But not to kind of hog on about it, but it is just for agency people. So we don't have clients, we don't have suppliers on it. And I think that is one of the things that makes it quite unique. So in terms of what you'll achieve and what you'll kind of learn on the programme, it really covers everything that you need, from taking a client brief and asking the right questions right up to presenting it. So you get the opportunity to present live. So we have a whole host of really talented and experienced trainers who will go through the 12 sessions with you. So you'll learn about how to get to a real consumer insight. You'll learn about which media to use to be most effective. You'll learn how to develop creative work that works. So not just creative work for the sake of it, but work that's really going to change your client's business. You'll learn a lot from Fran and the other tutors about how to have great client service relationships. And that's what this business is all about. It's a relationship business, and you want to have long-term relationships. But also clients want work that actually delivers against their KPIs. So again, that's a really important part of the programme. You'll be given lots of tools and ways to think a bit differently, to think outside the box and be a bit more innovative and a bit more entrepreneurial, which again is something that we know clients really, really value from their agencies. Of course, everything that we do has to deliver a profit, both for the agency and for the client. So understanding the commercial model is really, really important. And I think one of the other great things is that you really will be immersed in great creative work, and you'll hear from all of the tutors about leading, kind of award-winning work, across the world, really. And from that, you can be inspired with what you do and deliver for your clients. So that's what you learn. In terms of the programme, as I said, it is a 6-month programme, but don't be alarmed by that, because it's 12 half-day sessions, which I think works out about every 2 weeks. So the beauty of it being 6 months is that you can really immerse yourself in the programme, and I think you'll come out of it, or people that go on it will come out of it very different agency person. And we've certainly had experiences where people have leapfrogged their boss, which can be challenging, but because you learn so much, you can really kind of make a difference. So it's 12 sessions. Most of them are virtual. So I think there's 9 virtual and 3 face-to-face. Maybe, yeah, I think that's what it is this year. Most of them are in the morning, but we do have an afternoon one because we have drinks after that one. After 4 of the modules, we set some homework. It's not overly challenging. It's just to make sure that you are clear about what you've learned, and just so we can see that it's kind of gone in, that is marked and it is used towards your final score. One of the really great things about this program is that you get a live client brief to work on. So at the launch meeting, we have a client who sets the brief, and it's a real brief. It's not made up, it's absolutely real. And you work on this throughout the 6-month program. You get help from the tutors. They will refer to the brief at the end of each of their workshops. And then right at the end, you present your response live to a panel of judges, and they will mark your presentation, and you'll be awarded a distinction, a merit, or a pass. It's very, very rare that someone fails it. It's only if you don't really turn up to the sessions. I won't spend too much time on this because I'll get some of the tutors to talk a little bit, but in terms of the 12 workshops, the power of brands, Julian kicks off with that. Then we have consumer psychology, effectiveness and using media, breathing life into strategy, brand storytelling, social media strategy with Tiffany, do different client servicing with Fran, the art of presenting with Tessa, legals, getting the legals right. People think that's not going to be entertaining, but it's absolutely great session with Dominic Bray. Then back to Julian with how to be a strategic partner, amplifying the creative message, reinventing brand experiences and commercial awareness. So that's the program. Without going into too much detail, it all is on the website in huge amounts of detail if you would like to have a look at it. I've mentioned the set brief, and I think this really is a kind of key part of the diploma. And over the years, we've had all sorts of clients that have issued the brief. The current diploma delegates are working on Young Minds, which is a mental health charity for young people. We've had drinks brands, we've had big retailers like Tesco. And this year we're working with a company you probably haven't heard of, but I think is going to be really exciting, a startup company called chimney.co.uk. And Julian is going to talk a little bit about this, just so you can understand a bit more. Are you there, Julian?
Yes. Would you like me to talk now?
Yeah. Do you want me to go on to the video, or do you want to talk first?
Yeah, I'll say a few words about it. You know, we've had some fantastic clients on the diploma over the last few years, and I think we look for a number of characteristics from a client. One is it's got to be a big, exciting and ambitious brief, so something important. And the other thing is we need those clients to be actively involved and committed to the briefing process. So it's not just that a brief is issued and then you might see somebody at the end. They're involved throughout. So they give a live briefing. We do a live Q&A with the client. And it was a really good one this year with Young Minds. And the client then comes along at the end and sees your presentations. And so that's quite important. So I spoke to the founder of, this year we've got a proper entrepreneurial startup called Chimney, which is hugely ambitious in that it's aiming to transform the property market. It describes itself, well, you'll see Jonathan talk in a session about what his ambition is, but its aim is to do nothing less than get every single property in the country on a website, a little bit like LinkedIn, but for property, and to transform the liquidity of the property market. So you have visibility, not just of properties that are for sale, which is a tiny fraction of properties at any given time, but all properties. So it's hugely ambitious. It's been live for a year. It's been a year of test and refine, test and refine, test and refine. So I think we're meeting Chimney at exactly the right time, after a time when they've done a lot of learning about what works and what doesn't work. So it's a proper big, ambitious entrepreneurial startup that aims to radically transform a marketplace. So it doesn't get much more exciting than that. And Jonathan Francis, the founder, I spoke to him last night and just said, you know, let's be sure you're up for it. And he is. Did you want to play a little bit?
I thought it was in Paris. I don't know why, but it's a fantastic idea to link homes in a way like LinkedIn. So you can basically tell people you want to buy their house. Are you ready to go, Jonathan?
Thanks very much, Jenny. Yes, I am. So imagine a world where every single person's property is available to make an offer on. We are Chimney, and we are the LinkedIn for property. We use open, licensed, and user-created data to build the world's largest network of real estate profiles. LinkedIn transformed the recruitment industry by driving off-market job offers, and we're doing the same for the off-market property sector. The property problem is simple. There's insufficient inventory, constrained transparency, and questionable value. To break that down, properties on sale are often unsuitable for the majority of buyers. Researching a home and its surroundings means visiting 30 or more websites, and middlemen are expensive and often unnecessary. But there is a $1 trillion market gap, and that stems from the fact that there are 40 buyers for every single property that's currently on the market, and that's in the UK alone. But there is an ocean of hidden supply, 7.8 million owners who are thinking about moving or could be nudged by the right offer. That allows us to tap into 25x more dormant inventory than is currently available on the market. So Chimney's solution is simple. We built a resume for every home. We let you research your dream home for nothing. We let you send offers to an owner that are tempting enough to allow you to buy. And we let you claim your own home in 30 seconds. That means you can find your dream home before anybody else finds it first. You can physically message owners at their government registered addresses, and if there's no response, there's no cost. And owners can upgrade to receive unlimited digital messages from buyers, even if they're not expecting to sell. In terms of our launch platform, we have lightning fast lookup for 24 million properties. That's every property in the UK. We have quantified scores for every UK home and its surroundings. That's a world first. And owners can update photos in 2 seconds, but they don't even need to. Their profiles are already built, and we have super smart use of Google Street View to make this possible. In terms of traction, we're building a flywheel to then be able to assist with transactions. We're getting 50,000 organic visits every month from people in the UK. We have 10,000 properties claimed and currently free to message. And we have our data prepared for 120 million properties in the United States and simply not up on our infrastructure. In terms of revenue, we're focused on research, data, and connections to be able to get to scale. In terms of research, that means legal, finance, and estate agent introductions. And our partners provide bespoke upstream guidance to save users money by preparing earlier. We can make up to £1,000 in commission per referral. On B2B data services, we are providing finance, real estate, and private equity firms on annual license agreements. And we allow you to send offers to owners for £24.99 a message. But as I mentioned, you can get a full refund if you don't hear back.
That's time.
In terms of our team, we are a data company, not a prop tech, and that's how this market's going to be disrupted. As a founder, I was a data and AI innovation leader at Google. I have degrees in business management and data science, and I'm a former PwC Graduate Entrepreneur of the Year.
Sorry, I've just kind of stopped it there.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's a different brief than we've had before, but I think it's really, really exciting. And I think the delegates on this one will really be able to get their teeth in it and something, you know, really, you know, have the opportunity to impact and change a market.
Yeah.
So kind of moving on, we have an unparalleled group of tutors. I think they really are the best in the industry. Quite a few of them are on here at the moment. Fran, are you still with us?
Yeah.
Oh, hi. So I just, if everyone just would like to say, anyone who's here, the tutors, just introduce themselves and just say a few words about what kind of you cover on the diploma, that would be great. So Fran, do you want to kick off?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Fran Longford. Had a long career working in various agencies, above, below, through the line. And I run 2 sessions on the diploma and have done since the start. So the first session is all about looking at shopper marketing, promotions and brand experiences. So I run that session jointly with Laura Keats, who's not on the call today. We've been running that session, as I say, for quite a while. So we look at sort of impact of consumer behaviour on shopper marketing. We look at shopper marketing strategies. With promotions, we look at their role in the whole marketing mix. And then with the experiential session, we look at sort of key experiential considerations. And throughout the whole of that particular workshop, we look at lots of examples of what good looks like, and unfortunately sometimes what bad looks like. So we use lots of live examples of things that are out in the marketplace at the moment. The second workshop that I run is one which is really looking at the sort of changes in the importance of client service. So this one's a slightly different workshop because we have a panel of leaders from various different agencies who all talk about their perspective on the changes in the way that clients want their business to be serviced. There's then a sort of second part of that session where we get 2 of the previous cohorts delegates to talk about what they feel they got from the diploma, and in particular how it's helped them to change and improve the way that they work with their clients. And then they also each do a sort of short 10-minute section on how they approach the set brief. So they'll talk about, you know, the prep work that they did, how long it took, show examples of the decks that they presented, and people find that's really useful just to get a bit of an idea of what's involved, and most importantly probably when they need to start on that particular workshop. So they're the 2 sessions that I run.
Great, thank you, Fran. Tessa?
Hi, because it's a live brief, you'll be presenting, and I support people on that part of this journey. So my session is a longer session because we'll be looking at presenting for this particular project, but also how important it is to grow that skill and the confidence to stand up and to speak your truth, sell your ideas, and be really authentic. And it's never easy doing this. You know, even now I'm doing this, I'm slightly nervous, but it's part of the journey. It's part of your profile. You need to be up there talking, sharing, and it's a really good fun day. We get up on our feet. It's definitely not theory, it's much more practical. And also I will support people towards the end of the journey if they want to practice their presentation and get some tips from me. And I've been doing it, I think, since the first one, haven't I, Suzanne? I've been here for a long time.
You have. Yeah, I think most, well, quite a few of the trainers have been with us quite from the beginning, which is really.
Looking at my picture, thinking that definitely ages me. But anyway, I'm really looking forward to seeing some of you.
You always look great.
I'm going to have to drop off now, but it's a joy.
Yeah,
to
thank you, Tessa.
See you soon. Bye.
John, are you still there? Can you?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm hoping
just quickly tell us a little bit about your session.
Yeah, sure. So my session is on storytelling, and I think one of the nice things about the course is the fact that we all sort of link our talks. We have a strategy. I'm not going to steal anyone's thunder, but a strategy, then a creativity, and then how do you put all that together in telling a story that has the 3 crucial elements, which I call triple S storytelling. And we talk about the emotions behind storytelling, and then we actually put all that into a content strategy. So then you're ready to go make your brand more memorable and meaningful. So yeah, it's all good fun, and 5-hour virtual session that I wish was in person, but you know, people don't all have to travel to London to see me. They can see me wherever you're based.
And then I think, is it just Julian left?
Yeah.
Last but not least.
Tiffany's here too.
Oh, sorry, Tiffany. Sorry.
Hey,
Do you know what, Tiffany? I just thought, oh, I've gone for all the women first. I better not do you at the same time. Because sorry, Tiffany. If you speak after Julian.
I was going to say, you didn't want Tiffany to speak first because I've already rambled on, but are you sure?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Just
so across my 3 sessions, what we do is we work on the brief together. So we use tools and techniques for analyzing clients' problems. We generate questions on the brief, which I then collate together and give back to the client. And we then host a live Q&A session with the client. So we're, if you like, right from the get-go, working on the brief as you would with a normal client. I think if I would just sort of summarize what I'm trying to do across my 3 sessions, I would describe it as creative strategy, which I think for our agencies is really important. We are, of course, analyzing and thinking, but actually this is about the thinking you need to do that enables you to get ideas, lots of ideas, and ideas quickly. So there's a great emphasis on the very kind of close relationship between how you think and the ability to generate ideas. And you learn lots of tools and techniques that you can apply to both the project we'll be working on and more broadly to the clients that you work with day in, day out.
Thank you. Sorry, Tiffany.
No worries at all. Hello, everyone. I'm Tiffany St. James. I'm a digital and social media strategist. I spent 20 years training as well as running my own consultancies. And I am delighted to be able to take you for social media strategy objectives to implementation. So many of you on this course will be from an account management, maybe a strategy and planning perspective. And you might not be the person in your agency who's coming up with perhaps a social media strategy, but I'm going to share with you a framework, which yes, we will apply to the brief, but actually is a framework that you'll be able to apply to marketing planning, communication planning, your side hustle, whatever else you might want to do within your agency and agency structure, because it teaches you to take business objectives, turn them into communication, and then social media objectives. It looks at audience and insight. It looks at the strategy that you're going to apply, how you do implementation planning so that it's measurable and therefore effective. And I can't wait to share that with you.
Great. Thank you, Tiffany. Obviously, we've talked a lot about the course. We do talk to everybody that goes in it and make sure that people think it's a great program, which it is. These are the sorts of things they say: great tutors, great range of topics, really good to meet other like-minded people at a similar level in their career. The set brief is something which people always mention because it's kind of great to have that opportunity to work on a real brief. And of course, it's well organized because we run it. I thought it'd be really, really useful for Stephanie just to say a couple of words. As we said at the beginning, Stephanie runs one of our member agencies, Ignis, and has been putting people on the diplomas since it first launched in 2011. So Stephanie, is it worth you just kind of talking about why you put people on the diploma and what you think they get out of it?
Absolutely. First of all, apologies if there's any ambient sound. My headphones aren't working. I've tried to stem the coffee machine. We have been putting people on the course since 2011 because we see a maturity that comes from over the course of the course from our Ignites who attend. I think there is a real benefit not only in the course content, but actually also the access to tutors outside of the course and also the camaraderie with fellow attendees. I think that's really important. And I think it's generally the case that after the end of the diploma, those who've been on it tend to meet up for at least a few months thereafter. And there's a real advantage, I think, in sharing experiences across the board. I asked a couple of my guys what they felt was the value of the course. And I think certainly that's one of the things that they stated, but also the client brief. And I love the client brief this time. I think it's going to be really interesting to work with the startup to actually, a real startup and develop that proposition going forward. Personally, I love properties. I think it's a great proposition. And I'd be really interested to see what everyone on the course comes up with. We've got only one attendee from Ignis this year. We've had a few people last year, but I know that he's going to really enjoy and benefit from being on the course with everyone who I see on the call today.
Great. Thank you, Stephanie. Obviously, if anyone's got any questions at the end or kind of wants to message me for questions for Stephanie, please do. Millie, are you there?
I'm here, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, so just to let everyone know, Millie is doing the diploma at the moment. Millie's from the big group. So Millie, if you just want, in terms of kind of what you're getting out of it, and perhaps a little bit about how kind of how you found any of the assignments and working on the brief.
Yeah, of course. So just a little intro to me. So I'm Millie, I'm a senior account manager at a marketing agency called Big Group. And yeah, overall, I've really enjoyed the diploma. It's really good at just kind of giving you the kind of skills to put in your toolbox across a variety of different sectors, and just really helpful in kind of your everyday working life. Just helps you have a bit of confidence and conviction in what you're saying in meetings. So as kind of Tiffany alluded to as well, being in account management, you're not necessarily always the doer, but you're always involved in kind of every part of a process. So it's really good to kind of get some tips and information to help you across a variety of things like strategy and help on ideas, because quite often we're still, you know, working on ideas and sharing ideas as part of pitches. So there's also a really great session about how to develop ideas, which I found really useful. Again, the presentation workshop was really great and valuable, particularly for our final presentation, in getting those tips for well, for our brief. We're doing it to a panel of kind of 12 judges. I don't know whether it's kind of the same each time, but yeah, it's just some really great tips for that, which also apply into kind of our everyday life in presenting things back to clients. So yeah, overall it's been really helpful for me, just in what I do for everyday work, but also in kind of preparation for that final presentation and pitch.
Great. And have you managed okay kind of integrating it with your job as well?
Yeah, so obviously I'm sure each agency will be different, but for us the workshops tend to land on a Thursday, so my agency is really good at just giving me the whole day, as sometimes the workshops are just the morning. So I then take the whole day to kind of get into the reading that we might be given, or there's a homework after each session or most sessions. So it gives me that time to kind of get into it. But yeah, for me, I found it quite easy to kind of juggle alongside my workday.
Great. Thanks, Millie. That's really helpful.
No problem.
I just very quickly wanted to talk to you about the Mike Spicer Award, which is something which one of our partners, Halo, sponsor. Halo are one of our partners. They work with agencies on promotional campaigns, taking the risk out of kind of big campaigns. So I'm sure many of you have worked with them, but they sponsor the Mike Spicer Award. Mike was a agency person through and through. I worked with him for about 15 years, as did many people at the Alliance and a lot of the tutors on this course. Mike sadly lost his life to motor neurone disease in 2016. And we wanted to kind of remember Mike, really. And one of the things that Mike was passionate about was developing young people and kind of young talent. So Halo sponsor the Mike Spicer Award, which is given to the highest performing delegate in each diploma intake, and that is as judged by their kind of their homeworks and their response to the set brief. And the person that wins that, as well as a trophy, gets to nominate someone for a free diploma place, which is usually from their agency, but it doesn't have to be, but it usually is. And on top of that, they get £500 to spend on a learning experience, which we've had people do kind of yoga courses, learn a language, those sorts of things. The common person works on the drinks brand, and she is fascinated by Nordic drinks and Nordic beer. So she is going to Iceland to investigate the Nordic beer industry, which I think is a slightly loose learning experience, but that's what she's doing with her money. So that's just kind of another layer sort of to add to this. In terms of the cost of the programme, for members it's £1,750. It is our most expensive course, but actually that is for 12 half-day modules, and when you break it down it works at £145 per half a day, which I don't think you can get much training for that. You know, plus they get such a huge amount kind of from following the programme. If anyone is interested, we can look at splitting the payments or kind of changing the payment dates, you know, in order to make it as kind of accessible and as affordable as possible. Obviously, you can find all the detail on the website, on our new training website, which hopefully you've had a look at, or you can contact myself or Tracy if you'd like to know more about it. Other than that, does anybody have any questions? It's always very silent. No? If not, you can always email me if you've got any questions, or you want to book a place, or you want to find out a little bit more about it, then please do get in touch.